one-off wheels. It's got the modern interior. This truck is the total package.
It does look really good.
When I saw Mark's reaction, I think he was happy with it. So I'm feeling like he's on board.
The really cool thing about driving in this type of a truck is with this sports suspension, you are driving a sports car that has a truck body on it. So this experience is more like you're driving a Corvette or a Maserati or a Ferrari. You punch it, you hit it inside on the curve, and you come swinging out wide, and you're looking forward to the next turn. You set yourself up for it, and you bank into that turn. That's what this truck is about. Tony did a fabulous job. This truck turned out rock solid, ready for a track.
Listen, I got a little bit of bad news. The Fleetside Zephyr deal, no longer available.
How'd you screw that up?
The guy sold it. It was a good deal. Good deals don't last long on a shelf, you know that.
Let's go deliver some news. Constance, Caveman Tony?
I've got some bad news. The Zephyr deal fell through.
I thought this was a done deal. Didn't we have this sewn up?
Nothing's ever a done deal. I had them lined up, and I had them lined up for a while. This was a deal I was working on forever. I know we wanted to trade up to this. This is the last piece to our puzzle that would have got us over that six-figure build.
How'd it happen?
Somebody came in with cash, and that's what I got to compete with, is these guys with cash.
We're multiple builds in. We've got a lot invested. So much time, just working.
Yeah.
With this carrot dangled out in front of us. I feel like the wind's completely knocked out of my sails right now.
I think it sucks that everybody was counting on the money, but the money's not there. So I can understand why everybody's a little upset about it. It's just, but every now and then someone's going to pull the carpet out from underneath this and we're all going to fall down. And what makes you better is how fast you pick yourself up and how far ahead you can move forward. Here's the crapshoot of my business model. If you don't get the big six-figure payout at the end, we have spent weeks and weeks and weeks, and we are going to get very little money for it.
But we have an opportunity now to cash out on the fleet side. I've actually got a guy that is willing to buy it outright. He really likes these kinds of trucks. He has a truck magazine, and we've been talking about some pretty strong figures. I mean, we're talking $60,000 plus.
60. You got to remember the ass busting we did on the T-Bird we traded for.
Why wouldn't we just roll it into the next big trade?
Because we don't have any good trades.
There's not one today, but there might be one tomorrow. There might be one next week.
I don't know. I just feel like to get a deal that would be worth waiting for might take a long time. We need cash. We all have our own personal things. I mean, Tony's got kids. We have to move on to plan B. We can't stick on plan A for months and months and months.
I personally think we should wait.
I'm with Mark. I think we should sit on it and not cash it out.
As long as we can get the right money, let's see what kind of price we can get.
I think that I'd be willing to take the cash for it if it was the right number, and I think that once he sees it, that number could change.
I know I'm the owner, but we all share in the profit and loss. That's why we vote. So the majority is going to rule on these big decisions that have a financial impact on this shop.
I guess I'm the tiebreaker here.
What do you want to do?
I think we should sell it. I think we have somebody that's ready to go, cash in the pocket.
You better not take a dime less than 60 grand.
60 was just a little attention getter. If we get 60 grand for this truck, that puts about 30 grand in the team's pocket. What we do is we hammer it and see what kind of price we can get and go real big with it.
So I guess we're outvoted 3-2. Caveman and I are stuck getting our asses kicked this month. So let's go to work.
Hopefully it works out, right?
we're off to sell a 70 fleet side Chevy truck, huh?
Yes, we are.
We really have to make this worth our while.
We were hoping to trade this 70 fleet side for a 1939 Zephyr body, but that deal fell through. We've decided if we get more than 60 grand for this truck, we're just going to go ahead and sell it because that puts about 30 grand in the team's pocket. Mike, this is Mark.
Good to meet you, man. Good to meet you.
Heard a lot of good things.
Yeah?
Show me some of the things I'm getting into here.
The best is yet to come.
I'm looking for a nice, badass, reliable truck. That's why we started talking to Mark and Sean.
We windowed out the hood. Tony made those bezels.
That's rad.
Yeah, that's pretty slick. And
The hood is probably one of my favorite parts. You can actually see the stacks through the hood. Pretty cool detail.
he made these custom billet aluminum mirrors. Speaker grills match the radiator grill.
There's just a lot of cool custom touches. All those kind of little details matter, and I think they nailed it. I just hope he doesn't try to murder me on it.
Well, we're just going to let you have it for 80 grand.
That's
And that-
man. 65 grand?
I'll come down all the way to 75 for you.
Yeah, I mean, I could be at 72.5.
I tell you what, you go 73.5 and we're done. Come on. I know you want to shake my hand right now. 73.5. And it's a done deal. For 73.5, you got yourself.
Can I spin it? Can I take it for a spin?
You can tear it up.
Yeah, no, I want to get the paperwork done inside first.
Then he can do whatever he
he can do
wants.
whatever he wants. He can take the rubber off the back tires. And
There you go.
I'm not going to say anything in front of anybody at the shop, but you did a pretty good job. But I won't ever repeat that or acknowledge the fact that I said it.
I got a recorder in my back pocket. You know that, right?
Man, it's not even 10 o'clock and it's already roasting out here.
Who wants to know how good we did?
I see smiles. That's a good thing.
Wait, let's see.
That's a smirk.
It's a smirk.
There's a smile and a smirk.
We got 73.5 for the truck.
That was right in the wheelhouse that we were looking for.
Yeah, that's a nice little payday. Between the money we spent fixing up the T-Bird to trade up for the fleet side and the money it took to upgrade that, we spent a total of $32,000. After selling it for 73.5, we're taking home a nice profit of $41,500.
The Zephyr would have been a bigger number. That carrot was in front of us for so long, it's still stuck.
I'll get you another carrot. Trust me on that one.
So we finished the 70 fleet side Chevy truck. Tony did a really good job on it, and we made some really good money. Now I got to go sit down with Sean and go over the game plan to figure out what we're going to do next. You got the little cozy air conditioned office, don't you?
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be.
It's 100 degrees out there. Everybody's sweating their balls off, and you're sitting in here in a little air-conditioned room.
Well, yeah, this is where thinking goes on. This is the important part of the business. That's why
Oh, is it? The cars mean nothing. What's your next big upgrade and trade?
I'm working on finding a deal. I'll keep you posted on how I'm doing that.
Good deal. What are we going to do in the meantime?
I'm not big on doing cars for friends, but I was talking to Amber. She actually mentioned to me that she'd like to have one of our cars, you know.
Does she have a budget?
Yeah, she did say she had about 12 grand.
Amber is a friend of the shop. Amber's an actress and a model, and she's a hot rod girl. There's not a lot of profit in that, in a car for 12 grand. We're going to have to do one of those little Gotham Garage specials. We're going to have to do a zero budget car. I mean, there's enough parts back there in the building to build 6 cars.
Clear out the shop and put money in our pocket. I like that.
Yeah, I just need a car to build it on.
All right.
What about that Volkswagen Bug we got up in storage? That would make a perfect donor car for anything we're going to do.
All right, I'll swing by and pick it up. But first, I'm going to hit some salvage yards to look for our next trade-up car.
Sounds like a deal to me. Nice talking to you. I'm going to go back to work.
Go figure out something to do. Keep yourself busy. I feel bad about the Zephyr deal falling through. So I got 2 things on the agenda today. I got to stop by our storage and pick up an old 70s Beetle for our friend Amber. But first, I'm going to go to some salvage yards looking for another car that we can upgrade and trade. The good deals are never easy to find. I'm a junkyard dog, and I love this kind of stuff. I love hunting through yards and yards of cars and parts, just looking for the gold. All sorts of money over here. I was raised in a body shop, and it's just in my blood. I lived it. I ended up being at car auctions when I was like 16 or 17. So I was like the youngest guy there. I liked the fact that I was with the big boys, wheeling and dealing cars when I was such a young age, you know. Somebody needs to finish this up because there's just money sitting right there. This thing's pretty cool, too. I just have a passion for it. I like doing everything with cars, you know. It's just something in your blood.
This heat, man, I had enough, bro. Dude, I'm over it. Hey,
What's happening?
You're back.
Yes, I am. Sean took a little side road home and picked up a little jewel we had sitting in storage.
A jewel, huh?
Yes. It could be a pretty quick flip, get some cash, and we already got a buyer for it. This is a perfect example of why I don't throw anything away. Through all of the parts I already have in this shop, parts that we've taken off of cars that I didn't get rid of, parts that I bought at swap meets, parts that we bought for other projects that never got installed on that project because it really didn't work out. These guys won't have to go to the auto parts to get a single thing. Here it is. This is your new baby jewel. Just ta-da!
Oh, God!
Just remember, we have everything in the shop for this. So...
Don't look at it just yet. Hang on a
He's
second.
cleaning it up.
Are you polishing a turd?
Yes, I am.
Well, you found the biggest turd, that's for sure.
There you go.
It's like a little Barbie car.
What I'm thinking basically is we do like a bug rod. Amber is a really good-looking pinup style girl. She has that old retro look to herself, so we're gonna have to build her a car that matches her personality and her style. Even though this bug looks like a piece of crap right now, with a little bit of imagination, you can take these cars and turn them into virtually anything. The Volkswagen Beetle is probably the simplest car ever made to date. It was mass-produced in the 40s and has been an icon ever since. It's such an easy car to modify, and we're gonna turn it into one of the coolest bug rods ever made. We're gonna start by chopping the roof off to get rid of that round, dumpy Beetle look. Then, we're gonna kick the front axle out in front of the car in true hot rod style. We'll take out the back seat and make it just a two-seater. Then we're gonna add a DeVaul windshield to complete that roadster look and morph it into one of the coolest rides on the road.
So we're gonna turn this into a legitimate roadster.
Yeah, no, a real roadster.
What do you think a timeline on something like this?
It can't take more than a week, dude. If it takes more than a week, you all are fired.
So we're saying Caveman needs to get out the old Sawzall and get to work?
That's basically what needs to happen.
Demo time, yeah, buddy.
Oh, the brakes are getting better.
All right, don't let it eat me.
So we have a bug in the shop.
We're gonna cut the bolt.
It's cute and it's small, and the girly side of me is just really about it. And I think the boys are a little unhappy about it, but I think it's adorable.
Caveman squash bug.
That's pretty much the reaction that I'm dealing with right now.
And we're off.
That's how we do it. Just cut it off. There you go.
Look, I got a smile.
Fenders off.
Tony, catch.
Hey.
Constance, catch.
Can't touch.
There. It's sweltering out here. The shop doesn't have AC. We're middle of summer. Do you guys notice the forecast for the next few days? We're going to triples again.
Big triples.
Let me work at night and we swim all day at your house.
I was thinking we get some fans with some misters in here.
Yeah.
Baby Caveman can relate to me on the boob sweat situation. None of the guys get to complain because they don't know what it's like to be hot and have boobs. this shop involving Caveman. Ah! Ooh!
It's pretty accurate.
Ready? It's going topless.
What do we got? What do we got? Talk to me. You gotta go back to square one here. I didn't find anything at the salvage yard, so I gotta go back to the drawing board and find out what our next upgrade and trade car is gonna be. I gotta know everybody in the car world. Did you say 55? And who's looking for what? Are you a Chevy guy? Are you stuck in the Chevy world? Are you open to Fords? Things change fast, and I need to figure this puzzle out soon because the bills never stop coming, and they sure don't pay for themselves. A T-bucket. T-bucket. What if we took the T-bucket? What the hell would I... Who the hell wants a T-bucket?
Grab the bucket. There we go.
We're literally using everything within these four walls that we have and not buying anything. We kind of have to start putting things on, seeing if they work, take them off, try something else, and kind of Lego it together to make this car work.
We don't even know what parts we're putting on this thing.
We're Frankenstein this vehicle, basically.
Another Gotham Garage Frankenstein vehicle?
So now that I've got him started on the bug rod, Sean's telling me he's got our next upgrade and trade car all figured out. So really, you're bringing me your motor stand, the car that you weren't supposed to buy.
So, a while ago, I bought this T-bucket pretty much just for the motor and transmission. I mean, it was so cheap, had to buy it. I think it's gonna make a perfect trade car. Oh, yeah. All we have to do to this thing is fix it up a little bit, and I can trade it to a guy who owns a salvage yard full of potential project cars. And he's willing to trade me 2 of his cars for a finished T-bucket. And those 2 potential cars will hopefully be traded up and eventually get us to that big payday. It's a no-brainer. We've got virtually nothing in the car. All we gotta do is put a motor, transmission, redo the interior, and this guy will actually trade me 2 valuable project cars for this. As far as
This
not
is gonna
going...
make a really cool fire truck, bro.
No.
This is gonna make a really cool fire truck.
Listen, I've already got this set up.
It's already got this on it. It's already talking to me saying, make me a fire truck.
Pay attention. You're missing it.
When I was a kid, there was this badass little toy called a C-Cab fire truck, and I've always wanted to build it. As soon as I walked up and saw the windshield on that T-bucket and noticed that there's a fireman's helmet, I knew instantly this T-bucket needed to be turned into a fire truck. Just like a little C-Cab.
Listen.
With a little back, some ladders on it. Let's make it Gotham Garage instead of just a T-bucket. Everybody
Really?
does
Are
a
you
T-bucket.
Just
You know why you got this so cheap, Sean? Nobody wants a T-bucket.
Do you not get it? I already have a deal. Do you not get this?
Well, you have a guy on the line right now for a T-bucket, so let's just do a T-bucket on steroids and make it a Gotham Garage car.
Mark is an amazing artistic genius, but he does this all the time. You think I'd be used to it by now. I'm working my ass off trying to get a deal put together, but these cars are talking to him, and it just makes my job twice as hard because I'm lining somebody up for something that might not be what I think it's going to be.
I'm really digging it. That's probably the best thing you ever surprised me with.
Fire truck.
Yeah, fire truck.
Ridiculous.
I can see the bell right now. Ding, ding, and a Dalmatian in the back.
Yeah.
C-Cabs are one of the first trucks ever made and modified to haul everything from Bronx to breakfast. So what I want to do is build it the same way they did back in the day. First, we're going to have to cut that pickup bed off the back so that we can make a frame for the C-Cab. Then I'm going to fabricate that C-Cab out of wood. We're going to add some custom accessories, throw some new tires on it, put one blingin' badass motor up front in that open frame, and it'll burn up the highway.
Did we try these on there yet? Make sure they do fit?
Yeah, Caveman's Chevy, 5 on 4 3/4.
This straight axle front end is definitely going to make people stop and look. So the wheels have to look great as well. We've been digging around the shop, and I think we found a set of wheels that are going to look perfect on this bug rod.
All right, you're on the money. There it goes. Looks good. Want some trade tracks? We're ready to go.
Yeah.
Hey, who needs tires?
Look at how wide these things stick out with this front end.
I know.
We have some tires
Tires strip.
sitting around. Mark has a lot of cool parts he's acquired here over the years. Yeah, there they are. We're trying to put together the bug rod with all these random pieces, and I know there's great stuff here. There's great parts.
Do we have lug nuts for this thing?
That's a good question.
Do you know what size?
7/16.
I mean, can we just go to the store and buy some lug nuts?
Do you want to ask Mark that question?
In theory, it's a great plan to use everything we have here at the shop, but I need lug nuts, and I can't find lug nuts. There's no Joe in the front office with a computer and an inventory list. It's trouble. We're on a scavenger hunt. So I went through all of my nuts and bolts bins and every bit of miscellaneous hardware that I have, and I don't have any lug nuts. I'll be back.
I feel like we should be concerned.
Always a donor car somewhere for something. So I did some parking lot shopping, and it's not even midnight yet.
You found some?
Never fear, J-Man is here.
Just no one drive home without checking your lug nuts first.
For real.
Let's get this dog and pony show going.
Mark dreams up these crazy ideas, but we've got to make sure that they're street safe. As we're engineering the mounts for the straight axle front end on this bug, we've got to make sure that it's going to handle the stress of everyday driving. Hope these welds hold up.
They will. That's pretty sick looking.
I think it's pretty slick. I've never seen anything like that on a bug.
Neither have I.
It's so long and stretched out.
Right? It's gonna be bad.
Hey, Constance, will you bring that radiator? Even though we don't have a motor yet, I'm pulling Constance away from the bug to help me build a body for this fire truck. When the cars do talk to me, generally, it's a home run. Sean's little T-Bucket is just going to have to become a fire truck like it wants to be, and we're going to take it to that salvage yard, and we're going to get more bang for our buck. One of the trickier parts of this build, being a C cab, is that it's actually fabricated out of wood and not metal. This is actually how they used to make these trucks. They're really made out of wood. Even the floors were wood. They weren't steel in the cars. This is not something I'm doing first guy out of the box. I'm following Henry Ford right now. Okay, right there. And look at what I just did when I lifted the rear end up. See how it makes the whole side of the truck go like it's diving forward?
Yeah.
So it looks like it's moving while it's sitting still. The reason why they call it a C cab is because on the side of the vehicle, the opening next to the driver is a big C. The reason for that is so you can look to your left and see out of the truck. Because behind you is this giant box, so you need to be able to lean out and look behind you to see if there's traffic coming. This is back before mirrors were on cars. You know, crank the handle so it gets a little tighter. There you go. That'll just hold it where it is. Us old guys like to give our knowledge to the new people so that they can carry that torch down the road. Constance probably never thought she was going to have a saw in her hand and a hammer and cutting wood and stapling it together today. But that's my way of passing on that torch and that information so it doesn't get lost.
I feel like we built a little fort.
Basically what it is. It's a fort truck.
So now I gotta find an engine and a transmission for that T-Bucket deal. That's what you had for sale?
Yeah, it's a 350, dude. Runs great. I took it out. I got the heads, the intake, all the goodies.
This ran?
Oh, it ran great, man.
Yeah, this is not really what I'm after. Custom builds are tricky, especially when you're gambling with building something like a fire truck when the guy you're hoping to trade with is expecting something totally different. Oh, what's this?
This is a motor from an 88 Corvette.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you just say Corvette?
Corvette, yes.
Oh, music to my ears. We just had one deal slip away. I really don't want to lose this one, too. I'm excited to find out how this thing goes.
Got my word on it. You'll like it.
Thanks, John. I'll catch up with you next time.
Have a good one.
For sale, cheap. Better take that off. We're done.
I kind of like it. bug is this sort of MacGyver project. We got all these parts that just were never meant to go together. We took that roof skin, flipped it around backwards 180, and basically mounted it on the back deck of the bug. It's kind of a crazy idea that Mark had. Take that skin and flip it around. I've never done that to a car.
Hey, I found the other half. That fighter jet look.
Mark had this DeVault windshield tucked away in the shelf somewhere.
That'll look sharp.
And it kind of fits, but not really. Usually you would see this kind of a DeVault windshield on something like a 32 Roadster. And it fits that body shape and style, but it doesn't really fit the bug. It's got a whole different shape and profile. It's not made for this round curve of a bug with the windshield lopped off. It's going to pucker up.
I'm a bug eater. Feed me.
I don't know. I think maybe we should call Mark over.
Mark!
Yeah, I heard somebody screaming my name.
This is where these builds really come together.
Hold that.
Mark has a way of taking these different design elements and bringing them into the car and making them look like they were always supposed to be there. You know, to see it actually come together, it's pretty cool. I like where it's going and what we've done here. Walking into this project with no budget, I didn't know what parts we were going to have to make work. I mean, this could have just ended up as a disaster. We're like heroes, right? To pull off a build with no money,
Right?
we can knock out the rest of our fab work today. We can roll this thing off to paint. Then it goes to interior, and we're pretty much done.
Yeah.
All we need now is the hood.
I'm done with this heat, Tony.
It's freaking hot, man.
I got sweat going down the crack of my ass, and it doesn't feel good.
Oh, okay, man, I don't want to hear about the crack of your ass.
Bounce it a little bit. Yeah. So now that we've got all the wood set on the truck, I'm noticing that it's not quite as stiff as it should be. It's got a little bit of warble to it. The wood's kind of more giving than steel. This box now is going to need a 1x1 steel tube infrastructure to get it to the rigidity that it needs to be. Look at Mr. Impatient with the horn.
I think I have got the perfect engine for this fire truck. You're gonna like this. I got this Corvette motor with the 700 R4 transmission for the low price of, wait for it, $1,600. Come on.
Something's right. Wait. Hold on.
It's
Ow! That's hot.
It's not hot. It gives this a little more credibility. We're putting a Corvette motor in, and we're not blowing the budget. The Corvette motor is perfect for this build, and it could add quite a bit of value, too. We have about $6,000 invested in this project, and it's going to take about $3,000 to $4,000 more to finish it. So that'll put us around $10,000 for a T-bucket fire truck. That's worth about $15,000 when finished. And the trade value could ultimately be worth even more than that.
You know that bug rod over there? Yeah. I need a trunk lid and an early model hood for it. And there's a whole bunch of Volkswagen parts laying around in here. And I think you should round them all up and go swap them and go give me the parts that I need for that.
Yeah, that's no problem.
There's some parts to the bug that we had to take off because they just don't work for a hot rod, like fenders, bumpers, and seats. Those parts are still worth something to somebody else. We can trade them for everything we're going to need to finish this project and hit our target budget of $0.
I'm leaving. I will be back with more exceptional parts. Oh my God, it's hot over here, I'll tell you.
I'm pretty happy with this Chevy motor. I mean, it's a big V8, comes out maybe around 240 horsepower. That motor's actually really reliable too, so we shouldn't have any hiccups with it. The nice thing is it kind of came almost done. I had to do kind of minimal work to get it where it needs to be. But really, I mean, with the motor in it now, we're 80, 90% done.
If you're looking for VW parts, this is the only place to go. I'm hoping to trade my 70s bug parts for a mid-60s hood and trunk lid. Oh, Jimmy! There he is.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you again. This is the best lid we have, actually, front hood.
Oh, yeah?
And you do have a crack and a ding here in the front.
Yes, and that one's a contender. Actually, this one doesn't look too bad. This is kind of...
Feeling for dents.
When you grow up in a body shop, you find dents with your hands, not your eyes. You know what? I'm liking this. Let me show you what I've got.
Okay.
Because I want to do a little horse trading with you if you don't mind. I'm just hoping I have enough parts here to get Jimmy to give me a straight up trade.
Well, all this stuff so far is all aftermarket.
Aftermarket?
Aftermarket, yep.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No.
Aftermarket parts are not made by the original manufacturer. They're imitations, and they're rarely ever worth as much as original. What if I trade you those items, let's say, for these 2, 4, 6, 8 items?
That's a nice try with the amount thing.
Yeah, did you like that?
For,
How close are we?
We're about $100 off.
$100 off.
Yeah. And that is, by the way, you owing me.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
I didn't realize those fenders were aftermarket, but I still don't want to part with any cash if I don't have to. Now, this. Luckily, the seats we pulled out of the Bug are as good as cash.
You better have another one of these.
Where there's one, there's two.
There we go.
Oh, look at that one. All right, I know you'd do the trade if I just brought the one. So now I'm just giving you both. Now that's got to put a smile on your face. Because
I
now
think we do all right with that.
that'll almost get it to the point where you owe me a little favor. Am I right?
Almost.
Oh, just shake my hand. Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate it.
Drive safe.
Since Sean was able to trade for the parts I needed to finish the Bug rod, and I was able to pull in a couple favors, one for the paint and another for the upholstery work, we pretty much met our goal, keeping the budget for the project at a grand total of $0. We found everything we needed from spare parts in the shop to turn this POS of a car into a legit roadster. It's a true one-of-a-kind Bug rod that no one has ever seen before. From the straight axle front end to the Duval windshield and all the custom fabricated parts in between, this is a Gotham Garage original that should suit our friend Amber to a T.
Realistically, this could be sold for $25K.
Yeah, well, don't get too crazy with the price now. You gotta take it easy on Amber. She's a friend. Remember, man, she said she's only got 12 grand to spend.
Hey.
Wow.
You like it, huh?
This is pretty
How you
cool.
doing?
Hi. Good to see you.
Is this what you thought it was
Quite the
going
hot
to
rod.
be?
Better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
You
Good.
told me about the concept, and I wasn't sure about how
Yeah.
it would come together, and you guys made it happen. Gotham Garage is a very unique shop, just like the cars that Mark builds. You won't find builds like that at other shops, and I appreciate that.
Okay, I can see you in this.
Yeah,
Is
you
it,
fit.
is it me?
It's
Yeah.
Does it work?
Well, you look good in anything, but you really look good in this.
Oh, good answer.
Good answer.
That's really the right answer.
He's a salesman.
Split windshield.
Yeah, I knew you'd dig that. You're
Yeah.
like, ooh, bomber windshield, I'm sold.
Yeah, split windshield.
Smiles.
Yeah, you can't beat flat glass.
No.
I know Amber is a friend, and she says she only has a certain amount of money to spend. But man, this Bug turned out so good, I have to ask more. I think we'd be doing you really, really good by taking care of you and only charging you 25 grand.
25,000 is taking care of me?
That's exactly why I said 25 and not 30.
I'll give a little bit more. I'll go 13.
Wait a minute. You got to get over 15. There's no way.
The
It's-
advertising alone that you're going to get is worth that.
Okay, 17 grand. Come on, that's low.
You're at 17?
Help me out.
How about 16?
I think I'm going to be happy with that. Since we spent nothing building this car, we get to keep all of the $16,000 Amber paid us.
Yeah, I love this. This is great.
We ended up giving her more of a deal than she ever thought possible.
You don't have very many friends, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
But I got a lot of money in my pocket.
who needs friends when I'm getting the money, right?
Oh, I'm so done with this weather.
It's been real cool to see this fire truck come together. It's a neat build, but it's also a little risky. The guy just wanted a T-bucket, now he's getting a fire truck. If he doesn't like it though, it's been so hot in here. I'm pretty sure Caveman's gonna go fire that thing up and use it to hose himself down.
All right.
What do you guys have there? Big box.
You know, as a owner of Gotham Garage, you got to keep your ear to the ground. And right now, it's hot. And I know that makes everyone irritable, including myself. I got you guys a gift.
Is it a Slurpee
Go ahead
machine?
and open it up.
Oh, I see cold drink delivery service.
That's what it is. It's a motorized ice chest so that you can drive around here in the shop and give away or get something to drink.
This thing's pretty awesome.
It's probably not the most practical way to beat the heat, but it's definitely going to be a fun way for them to beat the heat today.
Let's drift it.
Stuff like this is totally my jam.
So much for your shirt not getting distorted.
Because I really don't care. Like, I'll knock that thing over. It's not a big deal.
Is there like a driver's ed test for this?
Yeah. Brake? Gas.
Constance wouldn't let anyone else go first. I thought that was pretty gutsy to hop on this thing. I didn't know how fast it was or what it did. Drift tires in the shop, it could have went bad. Yeah. But she got out there and broke it in. It was pretty cool to watch. Whoa! Yeah! All right. Let's go. I want to go. I want to ride this thing. This has just been a rough week. It's been hotter than hell. We all needed a break. Something fun to laugh about. He made himself dizzy. Oh, man. Oh, wow.
You gotta love the butt crack.
Crack kills, man. Crack kills.
Crack kills.
We're never going to see him again.
I know, he'll be back in like 9 days. I guess we'll just start with the motor end of it because I really want to get this thing running and driving today.
Okay.
So basically, now that the structure is done, we're going to get the wiring hooked up, fuel lines hooked up, radiator hooked up, get the fluids in it, get it ready to run and drive. So the only thing left is to get it painted, put it in the booth, and squirt some color on it. I want that cartoon fire truck look. I want you to look at it as a real car, but feel like a little kid. I want that inner child to come out in everyone that I want to drive that hot rod toy fire truck. So turning this T-bucket into an ordinary T-bucket would have been a travesty. Instead, we built a one-of-a-kind Gotham Garage thumbprint fire truck, just like the ones that I played with as a kid. We put in a Corvette motor, then we handmade out of wood a C-cap. We added an axe with a custom highlighted pinstripe on it. We put a gas tank on the exterior of the truck to make it look like it actually has a water tank. You now drive this fire truck down the road and you are a one-car car show.
The fire truck, it's just like a completely different experience than driving any other car. Starting with the fact that everything is completely open, wind's blowing in your hair, people are literally staring as we're driving down the road. You feel cool in it, you just want to go up and pull up places and wait for people to have comments.
Why is this fire truck chasing us?
Is that fire truck on? Pull over, there's a fire truck on.
Oh, there's a fire truck.
I'm excited. We're ready to trade some cars today. The fire truck is finished, but I can't breathe easy just yet. We still have to show it to Lane to see if the deal holds up.
That fire truck looks badass, dude. I don't know what you're all worried about.
Well, Lane wanted a T-bucket with a Gotham Garage spin.
That's what he got. That's a T-bucket with a Gotham Garage spin. So our last upgrade and trade, it fell through. So we're going to take this T-bucket turned fire truck and trade it to a guy who's got a wrecking yard with a few diamonds in the rough. Hopefully, we'll be able to turn a few of those projects into some pretty good money. I just made your job easier. You should be thanking me. You now can get 4 or 5 things for it instead of 2 or 3.
Well, you know what I'm worried about? I'm worried about you and everybody else in the shop working their ass off for nothing. Mark thinks we should get 4 or 5 cars out of this deal. I'm worried we might get nothing.
I'm liking what I'm seeing already. I haven't been dumpster diving in a long time, my friend.
There he is. Lane,
Nice
this
to meet
is
you,
Mark.
Lane.
How you doing? This is it, huh? Looks good.
This is it.
Really good. Yeah, I was looking for more of a standard old T-Bugger, but looks like we got something more fun here.
Oh, a lot more fun here.
Everybody's got a T-Bug, and nobody's got a fire truck T-Bug.
Yeah, this is a little bit over the top as a fire truck.
All right, let's get this off. And,
All right.
At least you didn't come to disappoint. Wow, that's pretty cool. Could do some parades with this thing.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We're loving Lane's reaction to the fire truck. I think that's going to work perfect for us because we need him to think so highly of this truck in order to get what we want, which we want as many builder cars as we can. So are you impressed? Are you ready to trade me 5 cars for this thing?
Where are you coming up with 5 cars? Our original deal was like 2.
Well, our original deal was a T-bucket.
Well,
This ain't a T-bucket any longer.
you can't put it
obviously.
on me that you felt like going overboard.
This is exactly what I was afraid of. We need to make a good deal here. Otherwise, all the time we put in this was for nothing. I need Lane to see the value in this truck. And if he doesn't, we're screwed. So are you impressed? Are you ready to trade me 5 cars for this thing?
Where are you coming up with 5 cars? Our original deal was like 2.
The original deal I had with Lane was to trade a restored T-bucket worth about 10 grand for 2 project cars. But Mark decided that the T-bucket wanted to be a fire truck, which raises its value to about 15 grand. So now I got to convince Lane to agree to trade for 3 or more project cars to make this worthwhile. Is this a lot better than just a measly T-bucket?
Wow. You brought more than I expected, I'll be honest with you.
We over-delivered, so now I think it's your turn to over-deliver.
I mean, I love it, don't get me wrong. The fire truck's cool. I like it a lot. I could maybe fudge around a little bit on something.
All right, are you ready to see what he's done?
Come on, Dad. Let's go. Let's go, Dad. Let's go.
I got nothing better to do but show my junk, so.
Yeah.
Find us something fun.
This is like Disneyland out here to me. Hey, Sean.
Pretty much stripped.
Yeah.
Look what I found. You said find some fun things. This is fun things. Come here.
Would you focus?
That's sound like my girlfriend.
Is that like some sort of tucker or something?
Yeah, it's all the parts I have to it, though, so I don't know where you're going to
Oh,
find
my
it.
God. Oh, it's fiberglass. I don't know what the heck we do with that.
Here's what I really want to see. It's over here. That VW bus is talking to me, man.
I think it's telling you to leave it alone, to let it die in peace. That thing is like a shell.
No. Wait till you see what I'm going to do with that thing. It's going to be worth like 60, 70 grand. I think there's a huge market for a custom bus, especially the way Gotham Garage would do it. Now, nobody's going to do a bus like me. Oh, this is good. I'm liking that. Normally, these things, you do that, you go right through it.
But it isn't worth anything now. We need more stuff to equal the value of the fire truck.
We got this old truck right here.
It's a Tri-5, isn't it?
Probably a 56.
56. Now we're talking. Restore this hidden gem, 40 G's, easy.
Looks like somebody started it and never finished it. That's the right there, buddy. Oh, Sean.
Oh, you sniffed it out.
That's a 454.
454. Is that on the table for us?
It's a possibility.
Oh, well, we got a possibility here. That 454 is worth some solid cash, and that would go perfect in that Tri-5
That
Chevy.
would be a badass motor in that truck.
I actually see some Corvette suspension you got over there, too. That's the big boy.
That's got some clout. This could be something.
Why are you looking at the motorcycle? Nobody wants a gold wing.
It's a gold wing. Might be able to do something a little more like industrial with it, like just a small little one-seater bobber or something like that. You know how reliable those bikes are? We could make something sick out of that.
Yeah, all right.
Good. Let's go make a deal.
Let's get down to what we really need to discuss, which is the amount of cars we're getting.
Does have a carcass over there that I'm kind of hip to. That Volkswagen bus that there's absolutely nothing left on it.
And my idea here is we get this truck, which the Corvette suspension can go with it, and the 454 engine.
So how about all of that, and then we throw in that classic gold wing you got over there.
I'll be willing to give you that gold wing. You can have it.
Well, there you go. If I want that bike.
So we settle now, and that's straight up trade.
Let's make a deal.
All right, let's make it happen.
Thank you, Lane.
Thank you, Lane. Appreciate it very much. We took one crappy T-bucket, turned it into a badass fire truck worth about 15 grand, and traded it for a ton of stuff. We got almost everything we needed to build this Tri-5 Chevy truck. We got the big block motor, we got the Corvette suspension, and a VW bus that has some great potential. Either one of those could be traded up for a rare car or sold for a good chunk of change. Oh yeah, and I got the Goldwing motorcycle on top of the deal. By the time we're finished with all of this, we could have way over $100,000 in vehicles. I think this is one of the best deals we've pulled off in a long time.
Attention Gotham Garage employees. Please report to the new vehicles.
You're at the wrong place. This ain't the junkyard.
You know, this can be a cool truck. That one, I don't get it.
I'm really into this, actually.
For real?
Yeah, I feel like that's a much cooler build. We do trucks all the time. I love these VW buses. I mean, they're so cool and unique. But this one is the 78 model, which is cool, but it's not the most desirable for really big enthusiasts.
There's the bus that has the V-nose and the
I know, but people like buses. So I'm curious to see what Mark wants to do with this build, but definitely really excited.
Bought a junkyard today.
That's what I'm talking about.
The motor and there's Corvette suspension in the back of that truck. They go in this truck.
This build's badass, right? Tri-5 is any Chevy that was built in 55, 56, or 57. And that unique body style makes it extremely valuable to collectors.
What is that?
Oh, well, that's not what I had.
I think my uncle used to drive one of those.
We're not going to worry about the bike. We're just going to park it in the back, and it has a purpose down the road, and it was free. So I just say we get everything unloaded, get it inside before it gets dark. And I love the speechlessness. Let's just get to work and get it done. Okay, that's us right there. Now let's go get the other Chingoleros off the back of the trailer.
Man, that thing looks like a frosted turd.
With the fluorescent halo lighting, it looks gorgeous.
It's not in too bad a shape.
The body panels are straight. If we go risky, you know, we might run into some trouble, but if we play it smart, there's guaranteed value in this truck.
This is such a money maker, and you know the Resto Mod thing is so hot right now.
So a resto mod is when you take an old car and restore it to its classic look, but you upgrade the rest of the car so that it performs like a modern vehicle. Right now, resto mods are at the top of the market, and if we keep that classic look on this truck, we're gonna open ourselves up to a lot more buyers.
I say we put a bench seat in it. So you can slide your girl next to you as you're cruising like you remember you used to be. That was just my thought, you know.
You're looking kind of sexy, big guy.
Yeah, well.
I like the bench seat.
So we're all in agreement. It's a Resto Mod.
I know we'll do something badass. It'll get Gotham Garage touches all over it. To maximize the value of this Tri-5 56 Chevy truck, we're going to replace the missing fenders, door, and hood with original Detroit steel. This will make this truck look like it just rolled off the lot in 1956. We're dropping in a 454 big block engine and Corvette suspension, so this thing will have some serious cojones. We're also gonna put a brand new wood floor in it, custom exhaust tips, and then we're going to do the modern touches, like power windows, air conditioning, Bluetooth stereo, and a one-of-a-kind red leather interior with a bench seat that even a caveman would use. So I want Tony and Caveman to work on this truck since you did such a fantastic job on the last truck and we got so much money for it that it was a really good deal. We should be able to get this banged out in about 2 weeks. Sean, Constance, I got something really special I want you to see over here.
Look, you got two girls on your side, huh?
Yeah. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna do a little photoshopping old school way.
Oh, jeez.
I've been hearing about this subculture that's following these Mad Max outlandish style vehicles, and they're selling for a ton of money. So we're gonna cut it right behind the door.
I think this is the Nonprofit Art Institute of Temecula, California.
This bus has to look and feel like it's coming at you to destroy something in your life. So we're gonna chop it in half, stretch it, add 2 more doors, chop the top on it, and slam it into the dirt. Because it's screaming for a massive big block motor, we're putting it in the middle to show it off. And to support the added weight and power, we're gonna build a custom chassis and add a 3rd axle with new suspension. Then we'll grind down the finish for a raw metal post-apocalyptic street machine that's ready to kick ass and rule the world. I know it's gonna take a little bit longer than usual to pull off, but I think if we do this to the bus, it'll be well worth it in the end.
Who would even want that?
No one's ever done this.
That's beyond one of a kind. Our priority is to trade this for a more valuable car and keep climbing the ladder to 6 figures. But I have no idea what this thing is actually going to be worth. When Mark's done with this mystery van, it could be worth less than what we brought it in for, or it could be worth over $100,000. I just don't know. The engine, you can't just, you got, what, a small little weenie motor in that thing?
No, I was thinking we put my nail head in it.
Oh.
The big
Something
block
we
nail-
got here?
Yeah, the big block nail head that I have in the back of the shop. We saved everything at this shop. And I have a giant 401 Buick nail head from an old project car that will be perfect for this project.
You know what? I hope you prove me wrong on this.
I always prove you wrong.
That's probably the most ridiculous idea.
Look at the picture. What am I missing? 2 axles and a suspension.
Yeah.
Away with you now. Go find me that.
Looks like I got some work cut out for me. It's a little dirty.
Caveman and I are installing the suspension we got from the junkyard trade. This should definitely help maximize the value of this 56 truck. When you're doing suspension work, Caveman is the perfect guy to have around.
We're trying to get the pad to lock in with its
They don't lock in. That's
its
just
springs.
a spring to keep them from rattling.
Looks can be deceiving. His hair's crazy, and you forget how great of a mechanic he is.
You can do it all.
You said you could do all this with your eyes closed, huh?
You wouldn't believe what I could do with my eyes closed.
I'll bet you one of Mark's beers.
All right.
That you can't put one of these brake calipers on blindfolded.
Really?
This one right here.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a blindfold, but I have an old sleeve that I use for the hot days. All right, let's see.
How many fingers am I holding up?
How many am I holding up? I can't. All right, let's see.
Get in the hole, Caveman.
Oh, I know where I am.
Better get this done before Mark gets over here and sees you goofing off.
Wait till he sees me drinking one of his beers that you hand me.
Well, damn, Caveman.
I told you I could do that blindfolded. How about that beer you owe me?
You're right, man. I owe you a beer. Settle that debt.
Let's do it.
Normally, when we have a project come into the shop, I pull the motor and deal with that. With this build, it's just not even close to being ready for anything motor related, but at least I get to break stuff.
1, 2, 3. Now you can use the broom out here. Hey, Caveman.
No.
You already know what I'm going to ask you
You
to
want to
do.
come have some fun with us?
Caveman. He's quite the sensitive person. Believe it or not.
If I heard that saw saw going, I saw this car. I'd be highly upset.
If I don't let him cut this in half, he will pout for a year. And here we go. Okay, man, want snack? Uno más blade, por favor. Give me a short one. I don't know how to handle the big ones.
Hey, it's how you use it.
No, it's not. This is probably one of the biggest undertakings we've done in quite a while. There's no going back from this. You're done. We should turn it around and introduce it to its own ass.
Hey, look, we got a walkthrough.
There you go. It's a walkthrough bus, yeah.
So we have two projects going on in the shop right now. I need suspension for the VW bus, and for the 56 Chevy pickup, I need a hood, a door, and fenders. I made a few calls and lined up a few places.
Got some pieces right back there for you.
The 50 parts are getting really hard to come up with.
Yeah, you're right about that. What makes my job a little tougher in finding these parts for the 56 is they're 61-year-old parts. That's some ancient stuff.
You got a dark green and a ugly Kermit Frog green.
Oh, sweet. All the good parts are picked through. It's such a desirable truck that everybody loves to build. So really, the crap is what's left over. It's, it's okay. I mean, it's hard to really tell what something is by just a picture. You got to get your hands on it. I'm going to take this door.
Well, you take it. Don't expect me to carry it.
Oh, there we go. Oh.
Got a rear end.
Now we're talking. This is exactly what we're looking for this VW bus. The better parts we get for these projects, the easier it is for me to actually sell it in the long run.
So now that we have the bus in two pieces, we have to put it back together. But we're going to have to be precise. They got to fit together perfectly because the structural integrity depends on if this bus is true and square. It's starting to take shape, and I'm really digging the way this bus is starting to turn out.
It's a good-looking motor.
How's that motor going, guys?
We're enjoying it.
That's right.
No
Super
problem.
hard to go like this.
So jealous.
It sounds like someone's got
jealous right now.
Yeah, I mean, I allow Tony and Caveman to play with motors sometimes just because I think that that's the nice thing to do.
There it is.
But the fact of the matter is this 454 was in perfect condition when they got it. They literally had to do no work.
Ready?
All right. Love the sound of a big block.
Yeah, brother.
Sound like a whole lot of money to me.
Ka-chinga, ka-chinga, right? That's
Oh, so, hold on.
Here, I'll get the bus done for you. No problem.
Jeez, bunch of haters today.
Bunch of haters today.
Oh, look at you with your little M&Ms in the back of your candy truck.
It looks like you went to the Rainbow Factory.
What is this, Sean? What do you got?
That's the 56 Chevy pickup stuff.
The squirrel found a nut. Caveman, start dragging it out and put him on the ground. I wanna
They're
see
not
what they look
perfect, but they're nice.
Yep, they definitely look like the original.
I think it looks pretty good, Sean.
like. So what else you got in there? Because I see something under a cover. And
Ta-da!
I will never tell him this, but I kind of heard the angel singing when he opened up the doors because he actually brought me what I was looking for. When he showed up with suspension for the bus, I was like, wow, wasn't expecting that. Props to Sean. Please don't anybody tell him I said that.
Are we ready to work, or are we going to talk all day?
We were ready to work when you showed up. In fact, I think we were all working when you showed up.
You want to see me unload this by myself? Oh,
Yeah! You get that? You guys get
damn
that?
it, my hands got dirty.
The princess got dirty.
All right.
Oh, Constance, we got new toys. Alrighty then. I'm gonna go old school. Look how easy that is now. Now that the suspension has been laid out, we need to build a chassis. Okay, genius. This is where the head scratch comes. I'm actually fabricating an entire frame for this Volkswagen bus from straight sticks of steel because the frame for this project does not exist. These buses were originally built with a very weak unibody structure. It had a rinky-dinky motor in it. It didn't have a reason to have a beefy, badass frame. We're about to put a motor in it that has a ton of horsepower, so we're actually going to have to shore this entire thing up and stiffen it up so that we can keep it from ripping and twisting itself in half.
Should it be cleared?
It will be. That's what this is for.
Oh, okay.
Don't get any squarer than that.
Mark has a very different way of doing things that you wouldn't see in any other shop. So what super old guy did you learn all this from?
Me?
It's smarter, and it works, and he makes it work that way.
So, pretty much have a basic frame ready to go. Thanks for kicking ass. I know it's a lot of heavy lifting.
You know, I work out sometimes.
Yeah. So Larry, let's kind of figure for like next week or something. I think that works for me. I'm constantly on the hunt for project cars that'll make us some big money, or that can showcase what we do best at Gotham Garage. And man, have I found a doozy. Thanks, buddy. Take care.
All right, bye-bye. Did you finally sell the bus?
No, but that's funny. What have you been looking for forever now?
Someone to sit in your chair.
That's not funny at all.
That was funny.
Larry has a 1954 International COE.
Serious. I'm tired of using my beat-up personal truck to deliver our high-end cars, so now it's time to step up our game. For over a decade, I've been looking for a vintage COE to turn into a Gotham Garage shop truck. COE stands for Cab Over Engine. This 54 International is one of the sexiest COEs ever made. It's the ultimate centerpiece to bring this truck to life.
If we had something nice, it could represent us well. And who knows, get us some more potential customers.
Well, it's like the Pied Piper. People are going to follow a nice shop truck back to your shop. It may not bring any money in the beginning, but it will pay us huge dividends on the back end. If your shop truck pulls in attention, then your shop pulls in money.
Here's the kicker. He actually might be interested in a potential trade cash deal with the 56 pickup.
So we just discount it a little bit and
just a little bit, and it might work out price-wise.
That'd be good.
So the only issue here is telling Constance, Caveman, and Tony about this. This will be taking money out of their pocket. Can you tell them instead of me? I mean,
sure. I got no problem telling them.
All right, no problem then.
No problem telling them at all. Hey, guys, want to come over here for a second?
You don't have any beer, so it must not be good news.
Yeah, great. What's up? Sean wants to talk to you guys about something.
Oh. Yeah. Sean wants to talk.
So Sean's got a guy on the line right now who wants this truck. The kicker for the deal is that he also has a 1954 International COE cab that I've been looking forward to build a shop truck out of for a very, very long time. It's a very rare truck. It's very hard to find this cab and to find one in as good a condition as what Sean's telling me this thing is. It's one of those golden opportunities. We're thinking about selling him this truck, but taking part of the payment in as trade.
And it sounds nice, but that's kind of a big hit on this thing.
That's kind of a hit in our pocket.
Well, just think about how much more money that badass shop truck's going to bring you when people are seeing it going, if they have a truck like that, they must have some pretty talented people there.
The shop truck is a great idea, but I just don't know how deep you guys are willing to reach to make that deal happen.
It's kind of hard to swallow for you to walk in and say, you know, I'm going to take part of your profits away.
Keep in mind, he hasn't done this deal yet. This is just a hypothetical. Something we're looking at. It's not something that we're doing or we've done. That's why we're asking you guys how you feel about it, what you feel about it.
So we won't really know, what's going to happen until this is done and see what kind of money that guy is willing to actually pay for it.
So I got to feel him out to see where he's at. Yeah, now that we're all on board, I think I'll go to work and see if I can...
Sort of on board. Let's revisit this conversation.
And I'll go get to work, see if I can line up the deal of the century.
It's not that bad of an idea.
And just make sure the hood fits. All right?
The truck is coming out great so far. We've got the suspension in, brakes are on, motor and trans is in.
Love these green fenders.
A race truck sponsored by Skittles.
Sponsored by Skittles.
Sean shows up with the sheet metal. Those are big pieces that we needed.
Hood, fender, door. Look at that. It's looking like a truck. You gotta love genuine GM parts.
I think it's something we can brag about when we're selling it.
Yeah.
Let's take this hood back off, and then we'll get the radiator and the AC installed.
Yeah.
Hey, Caveman, Tony, can you come over here for a minute?
Yeah,
It's actually more like an hour and a half.
Woo! I got a truck I'm building right now.
Yeah, well, I know your boss, and he's okay with you coming over here. The 56 truck is so far ahead of schedule that I feel very comfortable pulling everybody off and getting everybody working on this bus. We're about to rip out the old suspension, cut a giant hole in the floor to clearance the motor and everything else that we're doing.
Go back. Go back to you devil demon, you.
I think this Buick Nailhead engine is going to work great for this build. It's a giant motor. It has a ton of horsepower. And the best part of this whole deal is I'm going to save a lot of time and a lot of money by not looking for a motor and not buying a motor for this project. This is the quintessential motor to put in your open motor hot rod.
You could at least let me clean it up a little first.
Yeah. Fits pretty good. This is a very tricky part, and it's going to take a lot of hands to get the body married to the chassis right now.
Guess there'll be no babies being made in this bus. There ain't gonna be no room.
There it goes. That's all I needed was some Mark suspension. That's it.
Working on my truck at 6 o'clock in the morning before I go to the shop sucks. Like the shoemaker's daughter never has shoes. The mechanic's car never works. It's just the way it is. I'm over it. I really hope we can make a deal on that COE so I can build myself a new shop truck. This is something I've always wanted to do as a child. It's something that I've always wanted to do as an adult. I remember growing up when my dad would come to visit, I remember seeing his truck. For me, that would be the perfect truck because then it would be, okay, now I'm my dad, you know? When you grow up without a dad, it's kind of rough. It's gonna take a second. Can somebody just piss me off real quick? Oh, man. It's just hard. You get into it and it all comes up. It's kind of rough when you grow up without a dad because you don't have that father figure around you. My mom was my mom and dad. My dad's in my life now, which I'm grateful for. It's just missing that as a kid. I want... It'd be nice to have something to remind me of my father when my father leaves this planet. And that's about all I'm going to say about it.
All right. Oh, yeah. Look how pretty I am. I can see myself. Damn, do I need to shave?
Tony and Caveman, they really came through this time on this 56 Chevy truck build by doing all the heavy lifting without my help.
Hey, look, I'm gonna hand you the AC through the window.
Now that we have a buyer lined up who potentially is going to throw in a very rare COE, it's time to dial this truck in, get it wrapped up, put a bow on it, get it over there, and make this deal happen. I really think it's cool to be able to take these older cars and not only bring them back to life, but make them comfortable and even more badass than they used to be. Sometimes we forget or we take for granted all the modern conveniences of life, like power windows, a Bluetooth stereo, or even that sweet AC. It's really important to the guys in the shop to keep that original classic look for this Tri-5, and it's obvious why. The original body lines are dead sexy, and we accentuated them with a two-tone black finish and custom red pinstriping. We tripped out the bed with brand new pine wood, but instead of staining it like pine, we stained it with a walnut finish to give it that cherry wood look. And then on the interior, we put the Gotham Garage thumbprint like only we can. We gave it a brand new billet instrument panel with brand new gauges, a custom wood steering wheel, custom shifter. We even wrapped the entire interior in sexy deep red leather, including the Caveman Love Shack bench seat, complete with custom stitching to give it that one-of-a-kind feel. But the real transformation is when you open the hood and there's a big block 454 sitting in there screaming, "I got all the horsepower you're ever gonna need." That motor, along with that Corvette suspension, is gonna scoot this truck down the road like nobody's business. So now your Resto Mod Hot Rod is as comfortable and as easy to drive as your brand new car that sits in your driveway, but you're wrapped with a sexy, badass 56 Chevy truck. That truck came out pretty good.
I'd love to put this deal together. This deal would be so cool.
Make it
Kill two birds with one stone. We sell a truck for nice money.
Yeah, we're trying to get 40 grand out of the truck, but I know we were supposed to revisit it with everybody, but oops. I just don't want to lose this deal.
Remember, if the deal doesn't make sense for us, we're not bringing home a COE.
It'd pretty much have to be sour as grapes for me not to walk out of there with this truck.
I've been on the hunt for the COE forever, and I've found similar models, but never the right year. For Mark, it needs to be a 54. I can tell it really means a lot to him. Hey, Larry, I'm Sean.
Hey, Sean.
How's it going?
Good. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice meeting you.
Brought you a new girlfriend.
Sean told me about the truck. It's something that I've been looking for because it reminds me of, when I was growing up in my younger days.
That, my friend, is a big block 454 with aluminum heads.
That's impressive.
It runs like a dream.
The bed looks awesome.
This is real wood. This ain't that cheap plastic. We also made these custom exhaust tips.
Wow. Larry clearly likes what we've done to the truck. If we sold the truck alone for $40K, that would be a good deal. And I'm guessing the COE is worth about $6,000. That means we need to get at least $34,000 to make this even worthwhile. I just need to rein in, Mark, because if we're going to make a deal, it has to be one that the whole crew's going to be happy with.
Well, I definitely like it, but we'll have to see if we can work something out.
Can we go see what I came here to look at?
All right, let's go do it.
Oh, that's got to be it right there, huh?
Yep, that's it.
How long's it been sitting out here?
I've had it for a while. You can see it's got everything.
Wow. It's even got the gauges still in it, dang.
Really?
I cannot believe that it's still got door handles and hardware, and
Yeah.
that's all this that usually goes missing right away.
Yeah, it's in really good shape. I don't think you're going to find another one like it.
All right, Larry. Well, I tell you what we'll do. If you throw in this, we'll actually give you that truck for $45.
You got to do better than that. I just can't do it for that. How about we do 30 and the truck?
30 in the truck. Come
Yeah.
on. You know that's not even close.
You're not going to find this every day.
I'm not.
No, you're not going to find this every day.
Help me out a little bit. You don't need to fall in love with this right now.
No, it's too late for that, dude. I want his girl.
I'm hoping that you're falling in love with the 56 as much as he's falling in love
Not
with
for
it.
$45,000. I told you that.
Give me a realistic figure. I'm at 41 and this for the 56.
All right, the bottom line for me, and this is it. If we can't do this, then you might as well walk. All right? So 37 that's all I'm going.
Oh, gosh. Can you go 38?
Deal at 37. Come on. All right.
Oh, shiny.
There we go.
Thank you.
Does it?
I finally got my shop truck. The cab alone is worth $6,000, and we got $37,000 for the truck itself. We've only put in $15,000 of our own money, which gives us a nice profit at $22,000 in hard cash. Let's go get some paperwork done before this deal doesn't happen. I'm hoping that the profit itself will smooth things over with the guys in the shop when they find out that Sean and I just put this deal together.
I wasn't feeling this thing at first.
I wasn't either. This thing's gonna be sick when it's done. There's gonna be a lot of VW people that are pissed off for what we did to it, but the hell with them.
What's up, fellas?
Sean's got some good news for you people.
Money?
We are no longer proud owners of a 56 pickup. We ended up getting $37,000 plus this guy's COE.
What do you mean you got the COE?
We talked about that.
Briefly, not really.
Talked about, but never agreed.
That puts us over 40, though.
I don't remember everybody coming to an agreement on that one.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great deal.
It makes me a little unhappy that they did it without really consulting all of us. I would have liked if we maybe got a phone call before, the ink was on the paper.
I trust you guys. I know, we got the whole shop to look out for. There's a lot of moving parts, and I'm glad to have a little bit of money in right now. 37, it's a pretty good chunk of change. It's enough to bring some money into the shop. Everyone gets paid. And we still have this VW bus that's really starting to take shape. We're almost about to fire this thing up. We're a couple hours out, but today, this baby's gonna purr.
The sprockets and cogs are turning. I see it in his eyeballs.
What do you guys think of this motor in here?
I think it needs a little cleaning up, but I could get it there.
You don't think it looks like a little tiny
It looks
four-banger
tiny.
in this giant big bus?
But how much bigger can you go?
A lot bigger. So this nailhead, it's a big motor, but it's just not big enough. I need an apocalyptic motor. I need something that hits you in the head like a set of brass knuckles. When we do that, it's gonna leapfrog it way past our next trade-up vehicle to a six-figure payday. Your chick is supposed to show off her 10-carat diamond ring to the world. She's supposed to go clunk every time her hand hits
Trust
something.
me, I'm the first person to agree with that logic, but I'm telling you that this is not a half carrot.
It is. It
No,
looks
it's
like a
not.
half carrot. It needs to be a giant, huge, big motor.
Cha-ching.
That's a big blow. The frame has to come off. All of this has to be moved back out. All this has to be pulled out. In a normal build, pulling a motor out might not be as difficult. In this particular build, it is a nightmare. Basically, the entire bus has to come apart for us to get that motor out.
It still says Gotham Garage on the door, and that motor is not a Gotham Garage motor in this bus. I know it's going to piss everybody off, and you're all just going to have to work a little bit harder, but I guarantee you the payoff at the end of the day will be twice what it would be with this motor in it.
You're supposed to wrangle in that situation, Sean.
This could be an absolute idiotic decision to go backwards from where we were to actually put in a bigger motor that might not get us any more for the bus.
Just go fix the problem, Sean.
But if we do get a lot more money for this bus, it could be a genius decision. We just don't know right now. I don't even know what to say. We get a nice sale, money in our pockets, and Mr. Spendy Pants over here wants to get...
You're supposed to wrangle in that situation, Sean.
You know how he is. It needs a monster motor. We've done a ton of work, and we should be in the final process of buttoning up this crazy monster bus build But now Mark insists that his Mad Max Apocalypse Plus is screaming for a much, much bigger motor.
You're supposed to be keeping track of him and not letting him wander off with these crazy notions.
You could have prevented this. Grab his hand, take him to the side, and whisper sweet nothings in his ear.
Make sure you have a beer with you when you do it.
Sometimes I can talk sense into Mark, but this time, forget it. He is animate.
What's going on here? What's going on here?
Are you trying to be someone's creepy uncle?
Yeah, that's me. That's what I'm trying to be. When we picked up this bike in a trade in a salvage yard, I had an idea that it might come in handy someday. This could be something.
Why are you looking at that motorcycle? Nobody wants a Goldwing.
It's a Goldwing.
I'll be willing to give you that Goldwing. You can have it.
Now, I've got it figured out. This piece of thing in front of us is going to get us the motor for that bus that takes that bus to the next level. Sean's going to have to trade it for a big block with a blower on it.
That is not going to happen.
It's going to happen because I don't want to spend 15 grand on a blower motor. So a blower motor forces more air and fuel into the intake manifold, giving you more horsepower. It's the kind of motor we need to transform this bus from a family vacation machine into a badass urban assault vehicle.
I'm just saying, what I can maybe do with this thing is maybe sell it and buy a motor.
It's only worth something in a trade. It's not worth anything in hard money. A big block blower motor is going to cost somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 grand. By the time we upgrade this bike, its max value is going to be 8 grand. That's why we follow our business model of upgrade and trade. You always get more bang for your buck.
You want Sean to trade this for a blown big block.
But it won't look like this. If you strip all that fiberglass and fake chrome and fog lights and windshield and side mirrors and kick plates, probably going to take off about 300 pounds of crap on it.
Jenny Craig, here you come, fat girl.
I mean, it's not...
Did you call this bike a fat girl?
You can't say
Call her curvaceous or voluptuous.
The motor underneath this is pretty cool. I want to go gangster steampunk and just strip it apart. To me, this bike screams steampunk, which is a crazy cool combination of industrial age mechanical metal meets modern machinery. It's a super hot look right now, and it can make this bike look awesome and drive awesome when it's done.
Steampunk. I love that.
Basically what I want to do is I just want to strip this down, rip off all of the body off of it, rip the handlebars off of it. We'll use a beer keg to hide all the wires, and we'll use a hand-pounded metal seat, replace all the soft lines with copper tubing, and it'll look like a steampunk bike. We're probably going to spend like $90 on the keg. We're all going to drink it, so that's worth. Now we've only spent $50. And I already have the metal to hammer the seat out in it, and it's some copper tubing, so we'll be into the bike for like $200 more. And for that $200, we get a $15,000 motor to put in the bus. That's going to bring that bus probably another $20,000 in curb appeal. This all started when we traded the T-Bucket fire truck for a bunch of stuff, including the VW bus and this Goldwing. After we've upgraded this bike, we're going to trade it for a big block blower motor that we're going to drop into our post-apocalyptic war bus. And instead of trading that bus for something that would get us 6 figures, with that new big block motor, this bus is our $100,000 vehicle. We're going to sell it. You are in charge of stripping this down with your beautiful assistant, Constance, because Constance is going to be more into getting this apart than you.
Yeah,
because she only knows she's getting a big block motor out of it. And unfortunately, Tony's with me. We got to go back over there to Frankenstein and rip the motor out of it. So, break. Everybody go to work.
That's a cassette player.
Like the oldest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, you never seen an 8-track player? Oh, didn't need that.
She doesn't want to lose her rear end. She likes the big booty. And just keep closing my eyes, and I'm going to pretend that this isn't here, and that my engine is here instead.
Oh, we're dancing? We're doing a Honda dance? So Mark put me on this project. I think he did to piss me off because it's a Honda. He knows I'm a Harley guy. There ain't nothing like riding. You know, you see a dog sticking his head out the window. Hey! They're the only other people that understand about riding a bike. I bet you it's a little easier to get on now, though. Oh, look at that! I still wouldn't ride it.
Let's get the motor out of this thing. To get the nail head out of the bus, we're gonna have to undo a lot of work. This build is so far outside of the box, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 tries to get it right. Guess this goes back in the back for another day. Now that we got the nail head out of the chassis, we're gonna chop the roof on the Franken bus. We're gonna add massive wheels and tires. Then we're gonna drop in the new blower motor that Sean will find, and finally grind the outside of the bus down to bare metal. Once we've done that, we will have turned this Volkswagen bus into a one-of-a-kind, badass, heavy metal machine. I want to chop the roof on it. I want to take about that much steel out of it. I want a windshield that tall. I just want
like
enough for your eyeballs.
Okay. That big.
So that when they're shooting the bullets, it can't get you.
Like a surgeon.
Yeah. Like butter.
It's so sad. That's my job.
Yeah. Missing out on the party.
That makes me want to cry.
Chopping the top off the 70s hippie bus is going to make it look just like a pissed-off hot rod. And that, all right, there's one chopped top.
We've made a lot of changes to the VW bus, and it's got such a bad attitude now. It's not your school bus. This is not your family bus. This thing is mean. It's long. It's sleek. It's going to scare people running down the road.
I mean, it's all going relatively smooth. We sell it by the foot, we'll make a fortune.
Or the pound.
Yeah, or the pound.
God, this thing is a nightmare. I bet. I had no idea it was going to look like this underneath.
So I got my keg.
You got a keg?
Yeah.
All right, we get to drink?
No. So I thought you guys were going to rip all the wires off that it doesn't need to make it run.
We did.
It needs all of that.
Yes, it does.
Every single one of these wires.
This bike has a lot of accessories on it. It has intercom accessories. It's got a stereo in it. It's probably got air conditioning in it, for all I know.
We're going to have to put everything underneath that keg. Can you hold the keg on that side?
Promise to...
I will not cut you. There. So now that I got my beer keg, I'm going to use it to camouflage all of the wires that are on the bike, because this bike is supposed to be along the steampunk line of thinking, which has nothing to do with wires and computers. I've never seen a bike with so much going in so many different directions. So I'm thinking that some of this is maybe turn signals and whatever's.
Some of them are.
We marked pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Did you? We want to see if it starts now.
Oh, God.
Somebody called Honda. I'm sending a tech guy over. This project was supposed to be down and dirty, clean, strip it apart, do it fast, trade it for a big motor for the bus.
Why are you going to come over and break it?
It is now turned into a 2-wheel smart car. I'm going to go get a beer. You guys fix it. I'm out.
You should stay here, and we should get the beer.
You had beer. You had a 15-gallon beer.
I'm hitting a few local watering holes to see if I can find someone who's got a blower motor collecting dust. It's going to be a pretty decent bike. So you know anybody out there with a big-ass motor they're trying to get rid of?
I know lots of people that would like a bike like that, but no one with a motor to trade.
Luckily, Temecula is a huge car and bike hub. So even though this trade is a bit of a challenge... Are you into steampunk? Do you know what steampunk is? Does that ring a bell to you guys? This is the place to try and pull something like that off. Also, I know a lot of people. So if I don't find someone who's got a blower motor in their garage that wants a bike instead, I'm putting my feelers up. See what comes back to me.